saying starting from here we go. What's the deal, YouTube? We're back with the weekly gamer versus gaming podcast. Me, myself, Zobi70.
Yeah,
I got a very special guest with me, my man, all day. He been rocking out with me all week. You know my brother all day. The big Luther Vandross of gaming, little Freddie Jackson. But anyway, let me pause. I'm coming through my headphones. Let me pause this here. It's a few things I want to talk about today, and you guys, we can take this shit anywhere we want to go. What was PSX was last weekend, right? I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the PSX, right? Sony also wins the November MPD. It's kind of hectic in these gaming streak. You got some diehard Xbox fanboys that then jumped ship. You know what I mean? They didn't trade it in their mechanical parts of the Xbox uniform, and you know what I mean, went down to the Humane Society and adopted a pony. Some motherfuckers out there jumping ship. But like I said, Zobi, you are a diehard, true PlayStation fan through and through. Does Microsoft have a chance? You know what I mean? Can they stage a comeback? Was that PSX just that great? Like, talk to me, man.
No. The PSX wasn't that great, and everybody has a chance to. I mean, look at Nintendo. Nintendo's is back in the talk of being the best. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So of course not. I just believe that Xbox just needs to come out with. I know I was told no before, probably by all day, I believe, but you know, they just have to come back with a variety of games, man. Just more and more games. I don't know what Phil Spencer's doing. I don't mean to say that disrespectfully. I just need more games, you know. And you even said it yourself. You even said it during the PSX that you guys needed some type of experience where you guys can get together, show off games, and you know, do something for the home base, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, but no, I don't think so. I think if you jump ship right now, especially after all the years, I don't make a shot to anybody, but if you jump ship right now, especially after all the years that you accumulated a strong fan base with the Xbox fanboys, you said you were ride or die green, and then you jump base because Ni no Kuni 2 or Knack 2 was announced, then there's some serious problems. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What are your thoughts all day?
Xbox like catch up to PlayStation or?
Well, I want to see the bigger than sales.
I'm sorry. Did the DS win overall, or was it PlayStation all the way through?
I don't know. You know, I mean, know.
Check it out, man.
I don't know.
On both consoles,
they said Sony was number one.
Just keep it real. Mm-hmm. Keep it all the way a buck. We all playing multiplat. 90% of us. You know what I mean? When the exclusives come on either console, we picking them up. You know what I mean? Some might not, you know, but majority of people, you know, we all playing multiplat, man. I think Xbox really needs to, I mean, like the games coming forward, you know what you bought an Xbox for. You know what I mean? I know why I bought an Xbox. So what I want to see from them, I do want to see a few new IPs. You know what I mean? We already know. I mean, we already know what's coming out this E3. You know what I mean? We can pretty much close our eyes and, you know, you'll see it in, you know, right there. I don't want to see them just come out and say, hey, you can play this on Scorpio mode. You can play this on Scorpio mode. You can play this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't do that same
question. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. I'm gonna play the role of the protagonist. Okay, I'm using my. Right. I'm not gonna deal with any semantics. I'm gonna give it to you straight down the pipe. Now, let's be honest here. Let's be fair. Okay, I'm gonna go on bot form and then switch back over to pony form. Now, this whole generation has really been about games and exclusives, which I kind of find it ironic. Now everything Sony has the games, which they did. Like I said, a lot of the games that they show did not appeal to me, but I give credit where credit is due because they fans were excited. You know what I mean? And I can probably, or it could be argued that maybe their PSX was better than their E3. Whatever the goddamn case, whatever floats your boat, right? But for the last 3 years, you know, I mean, even Sony has said to itself that, you know, let's look at their holiday season. The shit's been sparse, you know, first party lineup. But it's been about, quote unquote, the multiplats, them having the better version of the multiplats. Now they are taking that, Microsoft's going to be taking that card from them, with the more powerful console with the Scorpio. And now people are saying, you know, what Microsoft going to bring more games? But first it was about the multiplats. Now it's about the games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which one is it? Like, oh, should Microsoft just cover? Which I said they should just cover their ass because they are going to quote unquote try to change the narrative. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a new day, man. I think multiplats are not the king anymore. I just seen a article yesterday that this Call of Duty is 50%, you know, in sales lower than Black Ops 3. You know, this Call of Duty is not selling well at all. It might be selling better than all the games out there because, you know, games as a whole are not selling, but you know, sales are down even with the multi-plats. You know, I think exclusives will be king going forward when the Nintendo Switch comes out. You know what I mean?
I mean, you said. Oh, wait, go.
No, I think that like honestly, to keep it all the way a buck, man, I am excited for the Switch. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, just based on the fact that I can't play that shit, I can't play those exclusives anywhere else. You know what I mean? Just that alone. And me owning both consoles.
On the go, sorry.
Yeah, and on the go. Like, you know, you own a PlayStation, you own I own both consoles, so it's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? So that is like that nice little piece of cake that's hidden in the back of your refrigerator. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, a lot of gamers will see it that way. You know what I mean? As well as I do. But I feel like, you know, the next year, both companies need to knock it out the park, man. Because like Zobi said, all the game sales are down. Most franchises are down. I think GameStop had a little yearly report, and a lot of game sales are down this year. A lot, especially in the month of November. So I don't know, man. I don't know what games is doing. Maybe it's all Netflix and Hulu. I don't know.
Well, I mean, when I say okay, they may be down, or Call of Duty. It's only but so long that you can reign supreme without them, you know, changing it up. Like I think Call of Duty needs to take a year off. It's going to become like Assassin's Creed. You know, like Ubisoft had a great franchise, and they ruined it by making it yearly. You know what I mean? Making it come out every year. You know what I mean? Every year was a new Assassin's Creed. Like the first one was epic, the second one was epic. They went with the Brotherhood and all the other shit. Like it just kind of just went left for me. But anyway, but I'm saying, but like if you look at the NPD month after month, right? You see the same 10 or so multiplats. You may, if you do get an exclusive, it'll chart for that month. If you're lucky, maybe 2 months, then it's right back to the Call of Duty, Grand Theft Autos, the Battlefields, or you know the Maddens, the 2Ks. You know what I mean? And again, and to be fair, you know you get way more multiplats than you do exclusives. You get multiplats every Tuesday or so. You get, you get multiplats every Tuesday, and you get exclusives like every 4 to 5 months. You know what I mean? So,
you know what I was thinking about too. You know, most of the multiplats and most of the stuff that's always top charting, the top 10s, they're mostly perpetual games, man. They're mostly service games. You know, games that people can invest more money in after they beat the campaign, or if they got little legs with the multiplayer. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like I said, I think multiplats they always rule, man. Honestly, they really do.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, but you know, just not looking at the glass half empty, because then again, you know, this generation, Sony has been the media darling. You know, some like their steps have been guided by greatness. And to be fair, you know, I mean, competition is good for everybody. And Microsoft, and this is me talking as a, you know, as a gamer, fanboy shit put aside. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Even I myself, you know, was criticized for saying that Microsoft needs to bring more. And I understand when people say next gen, well, they got the Scalebound, which I can't wait. I'm excited. I've been talking about Scalebound since 2014. I'm really excited for that. Sea of Thieves now, but you know, they got, you know, Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, Halo Wars 2. I'm not into RTSs. Cuphead I'm interested in. But, and I understand they do have about 6 or 7 exclusives, Phantom Dust, Voodoo Events, or whatever, that are coming out in 2017. But when I say literally that they need more than Gears, Halo, and Forza, is because even though we are getting these 7 or 8 exclusives next year in 2017,
we've been
guaranteeing to get a sequel. You know what I mean? Are they going to invest in the long term of that IP? You know what I mean? Who wouldn't love to see a Rise 2? Who wouldn't love to see a Quantum Break 2? And Microsoft, and it's been their own fault, you know what I mean? They have done a shit job in advertising their exclusive to the casuals. What I mean by that, you just can't wait until 3 to 4 weeks before the game comes out and show a commercial here and there, you know what I mean? Because 9 times most motherfuckers don't even know what the fuck is Quantum Break. What is Sunset Overdrive? You know what I mean? Like, they still had those, you know, because Microsoft came out swinging at the start of the generation, you know, with all with the different, you know, I think 11 or 12 exclusives. They can, you know, look this Black Friday. They could have had Sunset Overdrive for $5, you know, and again, I think that was a great game. But they have to do a better job in advertising their exclusives to the casuals, because us, the hardcore, we don't really bring these companies any money. It's the casuals that's bigger. There's much more casuals in the world than quote unquote hardcore gamers. You know what I mean? And that's my opinion. Some people say, well, you know what? Well, I'm seeing, you know, Microsoft advertising. No, you're seeing the console, but you're not seeing the games. That's why I don't have a problem with Microsoft showing me a game that's going to come out in late 2017 or 2018. I mean, what happens is it gets us here talking about it in advance. You know what I mean? You know, whether you the quote unquote fucking the console war, that's nothing but free fucking advertising. Let's be real with this. When people like Phil Spencer say they don't agree with it, knock it the fuck off. You got motherfuckers such as myself, Zobi, everyone talking about your product for free on these channels, bugging the fuck out, having a great time. There will always be a console war. We talking back to the days of the Atari and the ColecoVision, you know what I mean? And Nintendo, Mario versus Sega, Nintendo was, you know what I mean? All that shit. This shit's been going. That's just the human nature of man that wants to validate a purchase. Right. I went to the AV forums of the day. That's just as bad as the fucking console war. LG versus Vizio versus Samsung versus Sony. It will always be something. AMD versus Nvidia. They got their fanboys on this side. They got it is what it is. You know what I mean? But if you know, what I'm trying to say, I'm gonna check the hell out you guys go from here. What if Microsoft can take anything from Sony's event? You know what I mean? Being that they didn't go because they're still the underdog. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can't just think you win 4 months or whatever and say, hey, that was it, and take our foot off the gas. No, you still, you know, and I will say this. Both consoles are outpacing previous generation, which is healthy for the hobby that we love. But, you know, you can't just say, hey, we won, you know, 4 months and that's it. You guys didn't go to Gamescom for whatever reason. When you went, they didn't have a showing. And they said they was going to make it. Somebody had these fan fests. But I'm talking about something that was televised. I don't, and no disrespect to Mexico, I don't live in fucking Mexico. How the fuck I'm going to get there? You know what I mean? So they should, if they were going to have a fan fest in Mexico or Ontario, Canada, it should have been televised, something like the PS6. You know what I mean? Microsoft needs something like that. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I think will be huge for Xbox fans. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. They also have to put the marketing from just being the Halo and Gears console. You know? I think, no disrespect, but I kind of think those games are done. How much did they even go past 2 million?
What, Halo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Halo's like at 5-6 million. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's not the juggernaut that it once was, but it's still $1 billion franchise. You know, Gears is probably well over 2. You know what I mean? I don't know how to do with the digital sales. I think it did 600,000. But I just look at it overall. You know, that dude.
Yeah, they got it. Especially I just seen the other day, it was a Battlefield commercial, and at the end it was, you know, Xbox, you know, an Xbox symbol that popped up. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like this is insane. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but they gotta show themselves as being more of a gaming console than just a you know, a shooter console. It's just not going to work for today and the future.
Hmm. So you think the overall the shooter? Because I mean myself, I'm kind of burnt out on shooters with the whole 360 generation. I've said that time and time and again.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap. If it wasn't for IGN and other mediocre gaming sites and Greg Miller and PewDiePie and Boogie 2998, I think the shooter would have died worse than the JRPG. But since we have an accumulation of massive idiots who really don't know what the fuck they're doing, like, you know, the casuals, they're just gonna buy whatever's thrown into their face instead of actually going out and buying a good game. And if you just flash Battlefield and Call of Duty, even that's not even working no more because, like I said, Call of Duty sales are down drastically. It's quite embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
Oh. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Well, I guess not moving along. Something I want to tackle about Cinema Blend, not Cinema Blend. Forgot the name of the channel. Cinema Scare or Cinema something. Pretty big YouTube channel. Yeah, Cinemassacre. They just did a face-off with the PS4 Pro and the PlayStation 4, standard, vanilla, slim, or whatever. And they had a bunch of random people in there. They had 2 TVs, and not telling the average, which console was which, and most of them couldn't tell the difference between the Pro and the standard, and said, and if the ones that did pick out the Pro, it wasn't that big of a incremental leap to warrant the $150 more, because I think the PS4 its regular is like $250 now, and the Pro is still $400. Not to warrant, $150 price tag. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a big game. That all they got to do is slap Pro on it, and all of a sudden, your brain starts to trick you into believing that you're playing something that has just better graphics. Or, you know what I mean? Which you don't. It's a game. The average consumer is coming in there and they can't even tell the goddamn difference. I guarantee you sending a bunch of Sony fanboys. You couldn't even tell the goddamn difference.
Yeah.
It's a game. It's a game. It's bullshit.
Zobi, you've been playing the games a while. Sorry, you've been playing games a while. I mean, some people will notice a difference. I would think it all depends on the developer and what they pushed. You know what I mean?
To be honest, I can't even tell the difference between PS4 and PS3.
Really?
Yeah, my man got cataracts in his left eye. I'm blind.
What's the graphical difference?
I mean, you got better shaders and textures on the PS4. Basically, resolution doesn't determine graphics, but how poly count. But the games, in all fair, the games that you play, Zobi, that you prefer, no, I don't think, because they don't really go for the graphics. They just go more for the gameplay. Maybe a bigger world. So maybe not. You're not into the Uncharted, but there's a big difference between Uncharted 4 and Uncharted 3.
Yeah, Uncharted. What I'm looking at, I'm looking at which one is the better game. So Uncharted 2 was an Uncharted 3, and I'm seeing better games on the PS3 than on the PS4.
Oh, I can agree with that. The PS3 had better exclusives than the PlayStation 4. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You had several.
What they're doing is they're keeping us blinded by this resolution, crack pipe war to keep us off of the games, man. So they can just keep both companies.
It's a bullshit game. I can't believe Sony. We grew up with, allegedly, of us grew up with the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3. All of a sudden, you're resolution whores. All of a sudden, if you really care about graphics, take your podcast. Let's bring the real games back.
Damn. You might. Yeah, we should. Let's bring the real games back. Well, I mean,
back to PlayStation. If they really want a graphic whores.
Hello.
Aliens, you got that, nigga.
Hello, Zobi. You there?
My bad, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm finished. My bad.
Oh, okay.
So finish your statement. We can hear you now.
No, I forgot. I don't know what you guys missed. I'm sorry.
No, you were saying bring back something, and you might bring something.
I want them to bring back games, except for focusing on games like Killzone and the Order 1886, and where it's just all about graphics and no gameplay. It's not the PlayStation brand.
Oh well, okay. Well, I just look at it as from a business standpoint. Those games that you like, if you like One Piece Blood or whatever, games are like that. Sold 7,000 copies whatever. Business wise, but I mean, those games may not cost a lot to make. I mean, I guess they are making some money, But or they wouldn't keep making them. You know, I mean, they probably have a very, very maybe 2 people, 3 people on the team. Doesn't cost much for them to recruit. You know what I mean? So they will always have that market there. I mean, for those people that like those type of games, but they don't appeal to quote unquote again the casual. You know what I mean? You're not going to have a game like One Piece Plus selling even 500,000 copies. You know what I mean? And you look at that's why Japan is not the force that they once was in gaming. You know, everything's more Western with the EAs, the Ubisofts, Rockstar. You know, I mean, before you back in, you know, when we were growing up, everything was about Konami, Capcom, Square Enix. They couldn't do no wrong. But for them, like I said, you have to evolve with time, and that's my, I'm gonna say, my issue with Nintendo. Like I hope that they do. It's not so much of them having a powerful console, is that they have to change their policies. You know, I mean, you have to get with the times. You know what I mean? You know,
did you see the Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that was, I you know what? Graphically, to me, you know, I'm a graphics sort of fuck. I'm like American way. I like apple pie, bitches with big asses and fast cars. That's me. Graphically, it didn't look, you know, nothing too big to me. It looks cool. But with my problem with the Switch, people are praising it. What's a few issues I have? People are praising it. Well, it's on par with Xbox One. We're talking about hardware that came out in 2013. This is their offering.
As a gaming console, I haven't seen people this excited since the Dreamcast, or let's say PlayStation 2.
No, you talking about these Nintendo guys?
I'm excited for video games.
Like, the casuals are excited, bro.
Did you see the way Jimmy Kimmel was acting? I haven't seen anybody act like that towards a video game console since I was a kid, man. It's always been on the level of fanboy. You know, I'm a PlayStation fanboy, so I'm getting it. Xbox fan, so I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? But with this console, everybody's like, yo, I'm genuinely excited about video games. Because in the past 8 or 9 to 10 years, it's been on the level of, you know, it's PlayStation 4. It launched with the worst. It launched with the worst launch game ever, and that's Knack. And I can't believe they're making a sequel to that. You know, like, people aren't even buying their consoles for games anymore. But for the Switch, we're buying this mother flipper exclusively for those goddamn games. You know?
Okay, now here's the thing. I'm gonna play the role. I'm gonna play the fucking piece of shit defense attorney here. Yes, maybe the hardcore may buy it. Yeah. Maybe the diehard enthusiasts, but the casuals. Here's the thing. If you look at, I'm gonna give you an example. And we're just talking about on here the internet right here. YouTube, huge, right? Second to none. Yeah. It's so big that it's forced IGNs, the GameSpots, the Kotaku, to conform with their way. Their websites are dying. What they do? They took and put their brand here on YouTube, right? And a big problem with the quote unquote the Switch is that Nintendo doesn't allow their games to be played here, streamed here. You understand what I'm saying? So again, that's a big, or even you take some of the huge guys like the PewDiePies and the Angry Joes who don't play their games. You know what I mean? And you know, and trust me, I'm in a small brand, very small brand here, and I get all the time, hey, next gen I'm gonna get that game just to play with you, or you know, thanks to you, you know what I mean? I get it, so I can imagine what they get. You know what I mean? You're
saying YouTubers are on the same level as Jimmy Mother Flipping Kimmel.
No, well, I'm just saying, but you know, ain't no 9 and 10-year-old watching a goddamn Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I mean? But they will watch these fucking PewDiePies. I'm just saying, you know, or or whatever the case may be. I found it's some kids on YouTube. They got like 20 million subscribers. My daughter watches something. Maya watches that shit faithfully on her goddamn tablet, and they talk about toys and new fucking toys. You know what I mean?
What's dangerous about the YouTubers, and this is a fact, that these kids, remember back in the day, we didn't have YouTube, so you know, we would have to go out the game. We have to go out and buy the game.
And if it sucked, it sucked. You had no fucking choice but to keep that.
Yeah. But if you're watching PewDiePie, you've experienced the game, and guess what? There's no need for you to go out and buy that game. That's why game sales are down drastically. It's because the kids, because these kids would prefer to watch PewDiePie act like a complete idiot, open up his butt cheeks like, like he's Ace Ventura and start talking into the camera. And that's more entertaining than actually sitting down and playing the game.
Wait, let me tell you this story. Let me tell you this story.
Yeah.
I was at work, new hire. I was training them, and we got to talking. And then I was like, "Hey, man, you play any games and stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I do, man, actually. But recently, I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Oh, it just saves me money." He said it just like that. I was like, "What? You don't like to play?"
Well, maybe I'm a little old school. That's like if I seen my uncle back. Let me give you an example, right? Time for story time. Put your pajamas on. My grandmother's youngest son, Danny. He's older than me, but we had the Nintendo in the house, and at the time, this was right before he became a cop. Anyway, he bought all the goddamn games, and I would watch him beat the boss or whatever, say Zelda. And even though I saw the ending of the game, I wanted to do it for myself, for me to experience.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? I don't think, and again, I don't think that aspect is going yet. I mean, just because me watching somebody play, get to the end, you still get that satisfaction of
Yeah, but the difference between back then was that we were every week there was a brand new game. Today you can watch Call of Duty from 3 years ago to today, and it's still the same game. It's still the same 3-hour gameplay. It's the same. It's the same running around as a small map shooting people. Back then we were like, yo, this is some epic shit happening on screen. We don't have that today, To me, I don't think we have that.
So okay, well, so what I'm saying, so from what you're saying, you think that the even if, like I said, if the Switch is a capable console, right? Say if it's just on par with what we have now, this is the standard Xbox One and PS4. You think that would be just enough for Nintendo to do some damage, and not the online, and if they do have it, there were reports of that the standard. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but these things that are important to me. I like to pop shit and play games. You know what I mean? And live streaming with my friends and all that stuff. But they're here's I'm fucking cuss you. My one of my issues with the Pro, I'm sorry, the Switch, is that the tablet itself and the controller, whatever, and you have what's called the Switch Pro controller. That's the second peripheral. So the games are really made for quote unquote the tablet with the two end bars. And I mean, I don't really care for that. If I ever get one, it would just be docked there and to the TV. But the controller doesn't even have a headset jack. You know what I mean? We talking about Nintendo here again. Let's say you have some Wi-Fi, Bluetooth headset. Like you know what I mean? Like there's so many goddamn questions still. Like you burnt me once with the Wii. You fucking raped my grandmother with the Wii U. I'm fucking scared for my life. Should I go out and get these motherfuckers $300? You know what I mean? I need voice chat mandatory, and that's again. And you know what, Zobi? You can say what you want. That's what you have to have a checklist for a company for you to spend your money. I'm not asking for fucking God of War on the fucking Nintendo Switch. I'm not asking for anything out. I'm asking for some basic shit that I've been doing since 2002. If I can't get basic shit since I've been doing for 2002, to me it's a problem. It's a no-go. I don't want to feel restricted. You know what I mean? Like look, even you live streams, Obi. I watch your live streams all the goddamn time. That's nothing. Like you know what I mean? When even though I would rather, even if you're into playing online and voice chat, I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I mean? That's not asking for the world. I don't understand it. Nintendo is so concerned with being the parent and not, because you have that don't happen on the pedophiles. It happens on all consoles. There's a bunch of horror stories. But let the parent be the parent in the home. Just put an option for them to restrict, online play, talk or chat or whatever. You can do it on the Xbox, you do it on the PlayStation, or give them a time period. That's all they got to do. Prime example was crazy. The 3DS, right? They had the online stuff, and I remember it was a case, I think, in Florida, where a guy got a kid to come from Florida to California or some shit like that with the 3DS. Nintendo panicked and cut all the fucking online features of the 3DS. And you got, again, I think it's kind of silly, but a bunch of grown-ass men. I remember I walked to the comic book store with my uncle, and it was this black heavyset guy with some glasses with a squeaky voice. Man, I'm fucking pissed. I can't do I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I didn't know nothing about the story, but they took me online chat features from the 3DS. You know what I mean? But Nintendo, and don't get me wrong, Nintendo has that whole that kiddie shit on Smash. We're not talking about as far as the characters. They choose to try to appeal to a smaller demographic. But I say this time and time again. It's the children, believe it or not, it's not what makes the industry grow. What I mean by that is, though, prime example, I bought my son a GameCube, right? That was his first Nintendo console. By the second generation, it was all about 360 playing online and you know, Call of Duty and voice chat. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo hasn't grown up with me. Nintendo has to go outside of that demographic. You wouldn't like to see a more mature Zelda out there snatching off arms and legs and shit like that?
No.
You know, like they got fucking looking like Lisa Simpson with the LBG.
I told niggas before, Zaire wants Mario dipping in the whip, cutting the body, shoving down that.
I'm just saying, I would like to see it. Well, you know what people say? You know what? Nintendo games, they don't need no updates. They've been doing the same fucking two-step. It doesn't take much to make a Mario game. You know what I mean? I would like to see something else. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Step outside of the
GTA Mario.
I'm just saying, but come on, we been fucking breaking bricks and sliding down too. We talking about Halo, Gears, and Forza getting dated. Like, come on, my nigga. We got to keep it for like motherfuckers. Look, like people like to don't talk about. It's like you got that drunk uncle at the cookout that's suffering from PTSD. They flip out every now and then. Oh, that's this old Uncle Paul. Yeah, let's leave him alone. Nintendo showed up to E3 with one game and a 3DS game. They swore they tore the shit down.
Nuts. That was nuts.
Now, man, listen, Zobi, keep it real. If you like Zelda, whatever the cool case may be. But could you imagine if that was Sony or Microsoft that did that? Why don't we hold Nintendo?
Consoles would have flew out the window, man.
Listen, why don't people hold Nintendo to the same standard as Sony and Microsoft? That's all I'm saying.
He did do that.
Huh?
He did do that, but worse.
What do you mean? I didn't hear any backlash about that E3. All I heard how great Zelda looked.
I'm talking about when the PS4 launched. Their launch game was knack.
I mean, yeah. It was. I mean, they had knack. They also had Killzone.
I mean, like it was just knack. That crazy psychopath with the stupid voice. He talks all soft.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
weirdo.
This thing was about showing off knack, and you can't even take the system on the go. You can't even do the things the Switch does. The PS4 is doing this worse, and it's so like hotcakes. Only because it was on a fanboy level. Only because it was better than the Xbox. You know? Yeah,
it was. You know what helped the PS4 at launch was the $100 price difference. The Xbox was $500. The PS4 was $400. And again, it was the multiplex.
Switch is going to be $200 lower. It's going to be like a $250 console. You know, people ain't going to say because of the price. You know, Sony has done worse.
And then Zobi, people are going to buy that shit like hotcakes when they see it's $250 and it's Nintendo. Please.
Oh, I'm not negating that it's not going to sell. I didn't say it was going to tank. I'm not. If it's $250. I'm not expecting. And here's what scares me. If you're talking about if you're going to have the performance of, just say the minimum of the Xbox One on the go or whatever the goddamn case may be, it's a lot of peripherals to go along with it. I don't see it coming in at $250. You know what I mean? And I don't get me wrong, the Xbox One and PS4 standard, whatever, is very dated hardware. But still, you know, man, and you got the docking station, you got all those other shit that come along with it, which adds into the cost. I don't see that shit costing $250. I say the minimum would be $300. You know what I mean? Or whatever the goddamn case. And as I said again, they are dealing with NVIDIA. They're expensive ass. So, like I don't know. And I'm not. And again, I'm not saying that I want Nintendo to fail, but I just want them to get with the times. And when you say that, and they say, you know what? Well, we already got Microsoft and Sony. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what? That's the craziest shit in the world to me. My Xbox is not the same goddamn thing as my PlayStation. Maybe I'm just some dumb fucking. Call me fucking Bud from the fucking. The fucking what's that Al Bundy show? I'm fucking Bud. Like I don't know what the fuck. My Xbox, Kelly Bundy. Call me Kelly fucking Bundy of gaming. My Xbox is totally different from my PlayStation. It's the exclusives that give these consoles their identity. You know, I'm not telling fucking Nintendo to stop fucking playing the flute to these 6-year-olds. That's what you do, fine. But you also got to cover your ass. Don't think that you're not in competition with Microsoft and Sony because everyone again can't afford to have multiple consoles. You know what I mean? And you may have some again. Yeah.
With the trailers, catering more to the older people. Remember they was playing basketball on the court, on the basketball courts and stuff.
Well, do you know who the fuck lives in a 40,000 apartment on top of the roof party in fucking New York? It's like, come on, man. Like, yo,
I thought that shit was an episode of Friends, nigga.
Yo, like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Then you got my man in his swanky apartment with the full $5,000 Great Dane. Hey, come on, let's be realistic here. And you had the mulatto in the back of the Scooby van that was going for the motherfucking Black Lives Matter movement, playing fucking Mario Kart 8. Like, come on, man. You had the motherfucking white man, the white boys can't jump, white man can't jump scene with a basketball court. Everybody grabs his little stick to play 2K. That's not fucking realistic yet. Like,
no, I'm just saying the commercial. From what I saw from that one commercial, that's it. They were trying to cater.
You know what they should have did, Zobi? It would have been a better idea to me. Was show these people playing outside and then taking it in the house and attaching it to the TV.
Yeah, well, they did a reverse. They did
I think that would have been a better scenario. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think that would have been. And again, there's a lot of questions. You look at today's gaming scene, right? And you got all this, even DLC. Like, I have so many questions. How are they going to handle that? Like, you got games that are always online. Like, just say The Division, when The Division 2 comes out or whatever. Are they going to be able to get that? It doesn't even have an internet port. So we got to deal with the latency. When people talking about the fighters and, it's like, it's like so many guys, and I'm not trying to say like Debbie Downer, but you can't say like these things are just, and that's just being, just regular shit here. I would rather Nintendo put their innovation, into their games, and not into a gimmick or whatever the case, or a peripheral that may or may not catch on. People that say Nintendo's innovative, and hey, X, Y, and Z. Don't, and I seem like they've been chasing their success of the Wii. I think that was the gift and the curse. That's the worst thing that could ever happen to Nintendo, was that motion control thing. And to me, I think that just took gaming in a whole fucking bad fucking place. But and then they came out with the Wii. They were still trying to catch that goddamn gimmick. Just sitting them. I'll play this. I'll say this to you, Zobi. People now, like Nintendo enthusiasts, and I always keep a fucking a list of these weirdos, these Dr. Trees of the world, right? I got a little black book. You corporate cunt! I got a little black book right here, right? I'm like Santa. I'm making my list. I'm checking it twice, right? For whenever I do my masterful expose video, right? And I see these people praising the Switch, right? First they were saying, oh, the PS4 Switch, the Nintendo Switch is gonna be more powerful than the PS4 Pro, right? Everybody was jumping up and screaming, hey! And I'm happy for Nintendo. I hope so. She'll at least be on par. What's out right now, Then it's coming that it's not going to be as powerful as that. Oh, we don't really care about the power. Like, motherfucker, if Nintendo would have came with the traditional goddamn console, these motherfuckers would have been kissing Nintendo ass from here across the street. Let's keep it fucking real. No one asked for a goddamn console to take outside and hop on the train and get slapped in the head with a pistol. Like, that doesn't fit my. Listen, I've been shot 9 times, right? Real shit, right? I can't walk the streets of North with a goddamn iPad or some shit with my fucking face buried in the goddamn screen. I got my head on the swivel stick. Let's be real here. You know what I mean? That whole gaming on the go is not my thing. And for those people that said they want to play these complex games on the go, I remember them slamming the Vita. These same motherfuckers. Before I started doing videos, and this is in the comment section. One of the reasons that the Vita failed, because nobody wanted to have a console-like experience on the go. That was play, and I get it. I like the Vita. I still got my Vita. That was Sony thing to have these console like experience on the go, right? Nobody wanted to play these fucking complex games. They wanted the little and put it back in their pocket and keep it moving. Now maybe the market has changed. Maybe it's time for. Maybe the Vita was before its time. I don't know, but I just find it kind of ironic, man. Am I bugging the fuck out? Am I getting my Alex Jones on right now? Do I have a fucking tinfoil hat on my head?
No, you good. You good.
I'm like saying, like, talk to me. Can you talk to me?
Cater to you. There's nothing I could say or do. I can only be objective about. We just had PlayStation X last week.
Yes.
Nintendo came to Jimmy Fallon and showed up the Switch, and we forgot all about that.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I don't think you understand. The hardcore, us.
Yeah.
We're excited, or those who are excited.
The Jimmy Fallon audience are casual. I seen people in slippers.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying, but we don't know what they're saying in the privacy of their own trailer. We don't know what the fuck they're talking about. We're talking about within here the gaming community. Those are those few channels that cover Nintendo are excited. All right, but will it cross over to the mainstream? And because maybe that Mario market, because you look at the last Mario game, performed the worst ever out of the franchise history. I'm like, again, shout out to that motherfucking loose tooth 81 motherfucker owe me $50. I told him we had a bet that the Wii U wouldn't sell 10 million in 1 year. Motherfucker tried to pay me in eShop points or bullshit you not. That's why I don't bet niggas on the internet no more. That motherfucker pulled that body on me, tried to send me some eShop points. What the fuck? Oh hell no. But you know what I mean? Maybe like that Mario crowd has moved on. You know what I mean? It's not there anymore. I understand their IPs so well. I'm not. They probably outperform all of Microsoft and Sony's exclusives. I'm not negating that. But does it transition into moving hardware? You know what I mean? Because again, the hardcore. I told you we don't make the needle move on a pedometer. It's the casual.
I think Mario is more of a plus this year. You know what I mean? Like, I think people like we got Breath of the Wild, we got Pokemon coming to the console, to the consoles finally. They just announced that they're gonna have an N64,
GameCube store,
GameCube backwards store thing. I think Mario is like, oh shit, we got Mario. Okay, cool, no doubt. That's one of the best-selling games right now. I think just Mario is just going to be like, oh shit, we got Mario too, more than just saying, oh come on, man, another Mario. I don't think Mario's the main entree this year. I mean, with the Switch, I think the Zelda, which they're pushing very strongly.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. All right, do you think the Zelda? That's more of a hardcore type game, something you got to sit and counter. You know what I mean? Than a Mario. Mario's more casual, break. Everybody sit down and play fucking Mario. Everybody's not gonna sit down and play a
You're right.
A Zelda or a Metroid.
Yes, Mario can cater more to a casual audience because this is pick up and go. You're going to get superb platform controls. You're going to get a couple hundred levels or whatever, how much you get. I just think Mario's going to be a plus because Mario's for the kids. Mario Kart, that's going to sell like that.
Yeah, it's going to sell. Mario Kart is going to sell.
Those things for the fan, but you get to come and play the Zeldas. That Zelda looks too good. I haven't seen a game that good since Sonic the Hedgehog on the Dreamcast. You don't like the gameplay.
Oh, no, it look cool. I mean, listen, I told you if all of Nintendo's exclusive IPs, I told you Zelda is my favorite. I would like to see them take it into a more adult type, give us one like I said, something like The Witcher, or even if that's too dark for them, something even like on the levels of Fable. It's something more mature. I would like to see their characters evolve.
Mario is the main. He's the main dude. He's the Mickey Mouse of Disney.
Mario is the fucking Mickey, the iconic franchise of gaming. Period. Everyone knows who Mario is. Yes, I wouldn't. I'm not negating that. No,
but I don't think there's nothing you can do to Mario, even if it was.
Okay. We're not Mario. You can't. Mario is a 2D, 3D, whatever slide scroll. But you have other games, such as Zelda or a Metroid. A Metroid.
Metroid
they gotta have a Metroid, man.
There are a lot of things. Nintendo has a lot of classic IPs.
Good Metroid is. I don't like it when they change the games up drastically. I love Super Metroid. I used to play that back on Super Nintendo. I don't
like the first person. I like the third person. So I know
what to get. Yeah, I like the side scroll Metroid. Yeah. But when they turned that shit first person, I was mad, right? I played that shit. I was like, this shit is dope as fuck. It kept the core mechanic of Metroid, but it was just a different point of view.
Yeah.
This is how good Metroid is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Metroid Prime 4 is on the Switch. this thing is this Switch is gonna be dangerous, man. It's gonna be scary. And
Oh, all right. Well, okay. All right. So, do you think that that this
Monster Hunter? I'm looking like Monster Hunter. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah, I know what Monster Hunter is. You know what I mean? I know what Monster Hunter is.
The guys that made Xenoblade, they're already working on another game. It's story focused.
Okay.
It's dangerous. Okay. PlayStation and Xbox have. Let's play the devil's advocate.
Oh, okay. But okay. I want to ask you one last question. Now I see you, and I'm not saying I don't want to say, oh, next year you said it was going to flop. I'm not saying it may skyrocket. It may be the next fucking Wii. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about these companies 410Ks. What I'm saying, do you think it would be big enough? Well, just know Hugh will make a Xbox gamer or to put that down and say, you know what? Or I'm not going to get the Scorpio. I'm not going to get the Pro. I'm going to get the Switch. Do you think it would have that type of effect?
I see it right. I've already seen it. I mean, it's
not being a secondary console, and this is what I'm talking about. Because not everybody can afford to have multiple consoles. Do you see the Switch as being someone's primary console? You know what I mean? What these draconian fucking policies that Nintendo have in place as being someone's primary console. Again, just forget my wealthy black ass who can afford multiple consoles and fuck all that. That I can only afford one console, and I am a Mario dick sucker. But goddamn, my friend's gonna be on the battlefield tonight, man. Fuck, what I'm gonna do? You understand what I'm saying? So we're talking about someone on the fixed income here, guys, who has, like my man, heart 8 times, has diabetes, has a hole at the bottom of his foot, so sitting at home getting $542 a month. So so you're in a predicament. What console you're gonna sell this month? So what do you do?
Your PlayStation experience.
Yes.
It didn't show me multiplayer games. They were all basically single player joints.
But that's Sony's strong suit, though.
Yes, what I'm saying. So it's nothing to do that on the PlayStation and on the Switch.
But what you're missing, the key component, Zobi, school's in session, is that you're gonna get those multiplats and that same console experience on the PlayStation. That's up in the air for you're talking about a console that doesn't even have an internet port.
I don't even think your best multiplayer can beat Mario.
Okay, but here's again, we're talking about maybe not to the diehard or to the enthusiast, but to the overall, where your friends are playing. You may play Mario Kart for a little while, go do a couple tracks, but let's get on some Battlefield or Battlefront and knock some heads. You know what I mean, or whatever the goddamn case be.
I'm just saying, but I just don't think those games are what they were 3 or 4 years ago. I don't think
that dominates. Zobi, if you look at the top 10 NPD, they say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, right? You look at that NPD month after month it comes. Yeah. You don't see nothing from Sony really, or nothing from Mike, or even nothing from Nintendo. You see the same 10 multiplats.
Yeah.
Forget fucking Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, 2K, Madden, Destiny, on and on and on.
That's what worries me though, is that something staying stagnant like that for years is only going to cause the death. Oh,
okay. All right. I see. You know what? I'm with you. Okay. I'm burnt out on shooters. I say this usually every time I get a console, Zobi, or all day. To me, I always think this is the best generation ever. I remember I think, just looking back at, I'm sorry, put your pajamas on. I don't want to bore anybody, but just looking back, what really, really made me a fan of gaming again. I remember, 2K and Madden, I always like the sports games, dude, bro, whatever. But I had to wait till my friend came over my house to play the game. Or, I didn't really like playing against the computer unless it was a single player game. I wasn't really playing against the computer or whatever. But when the online aspect came, to me, they took gaming to, I was a PlayStation 2 fan, and then the Xbox came with with Xbox Live, and I was a beta tester, bro. I was the only black motherfucker. Now, you might have some blacks, but they wasn't black. You know what I mean? I was a beta tester, and you talking about shit was racist? Lord, like I told this shit the other day. Like I just argue, and it's crazy as hell. I'm friends with these guys right now, still on Xbox Live. And I used to be, man, fuck you, cracker. We'll put some cheese on you, cracker. Shut the fuck up, nigger. Who fucking cable modem did you steal? And back and forth, right? And I remember it was a guy named Horn. I told this shit the other day on a multiplayer podcast. Man, this motherfucker, he's never saw a black person in person.
Sure.
Maybe on TV, but he came from a town, and so I think Idaho, somewhere goddamn where. And he never, and it's crazy, we became so cool that our families took vacations together. Real story. And he said, next, he said, Zaire, how do you starve a nigga? But no, not serious, real shit. How do you starve a nigga? I don't know. I said, hide their food stamps under the soap. Yo, I heard that shit, Zoe. That was no more good, man. I said, God damn. But anyway, but to me, what ruined gaming this generation is the cross-gen developing and all the remasters and remakes. I bought a new console. I said, and people say, well, next gen, you got to give them time. Let's fuck that. I'm just talking as sometimes I think
the remaster took the time and they took the space for the new IPs to emerge.
There you go. If you and Adobe, and I'm to agree with you. That's why this is where I think gaming is in a bad place because like I said, if you look at the number of new IPs that we got in this generation, just compared to last generation, and these last generation, you got Gears was new, Uncharted was new, The Last of Us was new, Assassin's Creed was new. I can go on and on and on. You know what I mean? But this maybe because at the end, both last generation was probably one of the most successful ever. Both Microsoft, Sony sold about 90 million. Nintendo did 115. That's never been done in the history of gaming. And that was such a big market back then. Like I think all the cross-gen developing. Normally when the Super Nintendo came out, that was it for the NES. You understand what I'm saying? And we progressed and move on. Last generation lasted about 8 or 9 years. Actually, it's still going on to this day. Now I know you still get sports games like the FIFAs or whatever the hell. Excluding that, I mean, to me that has been the nail or or the thorn in the side or the Achilles heel of this generation. Microsoft is guilty of it also. Forza Horizon 2, great game. Could imagine how great that could have been, but it was still on the 360. Titanfall, great game. It should only have been on next generation platforms. Tomb Raider, and if people, I understand that there are different teams making them, but it's the same as this is the same game. You have quote unquote 8 gigs of RAM on these consoles, say 5.5 allocated for gaming, but they were still able to make that same goddamn Tomb Raider work on a 0.5 gig of RAM for the 360. Of course, the Xbox is going to be more shinier, but it's the same fucking game. Am I right or am I wrong? And again, so to me and when I sit there, I've been saying this shit for the last 2 years, and next gen, you're just being a Debbie. No, this is what has ruined this generation to me. It's all the remasters, the remaking, the cross-gen development. Like you just look at the number of games we've gotten this generation compared to last. It's not even close. Whatever side of the fence you're on, whether team Xbox, team whatever the fuck, this overall, it's less. You know what I mean? Maybe you guys may disagree, or that's why I think it's dangerous when we're going in a deadly spot.
No, I agree. People want variety, and as much as I hate Final Fantasy 15, I think it's the worst Japanese role-playing game I've ever played in my life.
Hey, Zobi, can I ask you a question real quick? Now, when I bought a PS3, when I get in a PS4, even between both consoles, when I had an itch for a JRPG, I really couldn't find any. To keep it real with you.
If you watch my channel for the past 8 years, that was my complaint with Sony.
And guess what people do? They buy a 3DS.
Yeah, I had to resort to the 3DS generation to get my JRPG fix. Like I said, that was all my videos. That was my complaint. I didn't want the kill zones. I didn't want the resistance. I thought they needed a balance between what they showed at PSX is what I've been asking for the past 8 years. But every single Sony fanboy told me I was wrong. Now, 2016, all of a sudden, Zoe 70's predictions are correct. Now everybody's pulling their cocks out. But back to my point with Final Fantasy 15. As much as I don't like this piece of shit game, it's the two bros have been playing the same bullshit for the past 8 years. That they played this bullshit ass RPG and think it's the greatest thing they've ever played in their goddamn lives. You know,
more westernized than it's ever been.
It's the worst RPG I ever played in my goddamn life. But these motherfuckers are like, oh my god, this exists. They've totally ignored. After all these years, I've been telling them you should play Yakuza, you should play this, you should play Nukuni, you should play Dark Cloud, you should play this. They were telling me no because they didn't like the way it looked. Now I have to give Final Fantasy 15 its props. It has catered their game to let these people come in and play something new. Now they're going to experiment with all these great games that are coming out in the future.
You know what's crazy, Zobi? People don't even know who the Ni no Kuni is, that game. You know what I mean? On PS3. And now they're excited for it? Get the fuck out of here.
Like, two, why they skip one? He's like, what are you talking about?
One's great.
That's why I give Final Fantasy 15's props. I only had Final Fantasy 7 did the same thing for me back in the 90s. But I'm giving 15 its props because these motherfuckers, I'm like, yo, this game sucks. And they cannot fathom. I'm like, what? No, this is the greatest thing I've ever played in my goddamn life. That's because you've been playing bad games for the past 8 years. You know? You already been conformed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I've been trying to tell you, dumb motherfuckers. But for the past 8 years, they were telling me I was dumb because I was 8 or 9, 20 years advanced. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like, what's your gripe with Final Fantasy 15? They had to make it more, quote unquote.
They didn't have to. They didn't have to.
For the appeal to to get their bread to the casual. You know what I mean? Because that whole turn-based thing, I guess, was kind of dated. And you look at, to me,
the turn-based is dated. But first of all, I think those people would never play turn-based. And number two, the best video games that we had, from Persona to Dragon Quest,
all turn-based.
All turn-based, you know? Like, those are the best. Like, really, people all across the board, there's no debate. We're saying these are the best. And they're turn-based. Pokemon, turn-based. Right. Selling in the millions. So they didn't have to do this. But
Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, all that shit.
Yeah. Just turn-based. People across the board are saying this is the great. That's because they were looking at it and going, "This is stupid. Why is he hitting me and I can't hit him back?" But if they actually played the mother flipper, they would go, "Oh my god!" And that's why the kid jumped ship, is because he finally got a chance to play the JRPG, and he said, "I want more of this." So he bought him a PlayStation 4. Not that I'm trying to defend him, but it's just a fact, you know.
Oh.
Is it fucked up that he jumped ship? Hell yeah, it's fucked up. You can't be like, you can't build up your media band base. You can't build all this up and go, I'm Xbox. And finally, you get a sprinkle of something. He said, and it's only 70 said this years ago, but all the Xbox guys told me I was wrong. His PlayStation guys told me I was wrong. Now you finally got a chance to experiment. Now motherfuckers are like, oh, now everybody thinks they're all around gamer all of a sudden. I have the videos. I got the screenshots. I got a video.
You got your list like me, like Santa. You keeping it, checking it once, checking it twice.
Computer back. I am making a video, and I'm going to show you all the comments I got from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, of everybody telling me that I was wrong over the years. It's going to be one of the greatest videos I've ever done, and it's going to expose everybody in motherfucker. I mean, excluding Zaire. That's it's my homie, but it's
no, fuck that. If I said some fraud shit, I need to get it do. Cut my fucking mic off. Expose me. If I did some fraudulent shit out there in the gaming streets, expose me. Fuck that. I'm not a kid. If I was a corporate cocksucker, if I sold my console, man, get on me, man. Shit, man.
What is wrong with it? Yes, I can't. It's like if they took Call of Duty, right? Oh no, you like what's the RPG? Bam, what's the RPG?
I like RPG. I like Mass Effect.
No. You like the other game, but they're not making a sequel for it.
Jade Empire?
No.
Fable?
Fable.
Yeah, Fable. Okay.
Love Fable, right?
Yes.
Love the way you're playing Fable. You like the atmosphere. You like the gameplay mechanics. You like what you can do.
I like the story. I get caught up in the story when they killed my sister. Yeah, Fable 1, when they had my mother in their fucking basement, she was blind. They was fighting that bitch like a pit bull every Saturday.
You can kill whoever you wanted to kill. You had freedom, right?
Yeah.
And then they just took it and just transformed it into a turn-based JRPG. And it was like the dude had to hit you first, and you had to hit back, and you just
like this game is dog shit.
Yeah,
it's something that you just couldn't recognize no more. And then all of a sudden, everybody said, "You know what, Zaire? You need to evolve, man. You know what? You need to evolve." Oh, style was stupid anyway. And it was like, this is the game I've been playing and falling in love with for years. Why did they change it up drastically just to make a few extra measly little tiny bucks? You know?
And why? Because greed consumes us all.
Well, greed. But why is it my games like Street Fighter?
Hey, nigga, because you're a dinosaur, man. You like that what's that black motherfucker on the Dave Chappelle? So they think he white. When the can't get you that motherfucker. You're a rare breed, man. You know why don't Zobi? Could you just prove my point, my theory? You are what you call the hardcore, the dedicated one. And believe it or not, we don't put any money in these companies' pockets. They have to make it to. Look at it like this for the bright side. They have to make it appeal to a broader demographic, all right?
They're not making as much money as you think by changing.
No. Hear me up. You look at Square Enix, right, and look where they are now today, and what they once were. Yeah,
that's why they're losing money is because they changed it up so drastically.
But here's the thing, and again, they're looking at their. You look at some of their big RPGs. Like the Dragon Quests and all that shit, right? That once was hot shit over here, right? You understand what I'm saying? Their install base is so low. They had Dragon Quest for the Wii U. It didn't even release stateside in over Northern European countries because that. Look, another one. Sega. No, I was a big Phantasy Star fan, right?
The curse of Dragon Quest is because it was always releasing either next to Final Fantasy or it released right at the end of the PlayStation 1 life cycle. Everybody was moving on to the next console. You know what I mean? Now, people, Japanese game fans would go back and say, "Oh my God, has everybody even heard this Dragon Quest game?" Is because it always would come out at the wrong time. You know, it never had its time to shine. So that's the reason why Dragon Quest is not known. But like in Japan, they literally shut down the streets of Japan because it's a holiday for Dragon Quest. You know, when Dragon Quest come out, people stop everything they're doing to go play the games. And they are really that good. And they don't need to westernize it, even though they came out with Dragon Quest Heroes, and I love that game. But still,
well, instead of making Dragon Quest Builders, should have made a traditional Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, Builders is another spin-off. Dragon Quest has always been creating a lot of spin-outs over the years. Dragon Quest Monster Junior, you know, you got the Builders, they had Rocket Slime. And they're superb games. I mean, just superb, perfect, great games that a lot of people are missing out on. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. If they changed it though and made it like Final Fantasy 15, I think that'll be even worse for the franchise.
Another thing too. I mean, I really think the heyday of the JRPGs is over. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's back. I think. Yes, the PS2 is the reason why it fell off. I think with Final Fantasy 15, even though I don't like it, I think it's you got Persona 5 coming out, Ni no Kuni. You got a lot of JRPGs that are coming out that are going to sell a lot more than the previous predecessors. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Quest is coming out. They're going to have a trailer for that at this Jump Fest or something like that. I think JRPG.
You know who put Square Enix on notice and dug in their shit as far as the JRPGs? It was BioWare, and the way they made their JR more action friendly. You understand what I'm saying?
Is great. BioWare. I'm talking about the original BioWare makers.
How they did the Jade Empires, or even the what's the other one? Origins, Massive. What's the other one they got with the dragons and shit?
This Dragon Gage Origins.
Whatever the fuck you call. Yeah. So you know what I mean. They so it was a change, I guess, in that, and we saw how
the article in Game Informer where the BioWare they did Dragon Age Origins, and in the following year they made Dragon Age 2. This one was extremely streamlined. They said in that article that they made the biggest mistake they ever made by streamlining Dragon Dragon Age 2 like that. It's like it was like we went way too far. It was
that's why Dragon Age Inquisition it was great.
Yeah, they went way too. And they admitted that they did that. And I give BioWare complete props for coming out. But BioWare is no joke. Yes, you are right. BioWare, the Elder Scrolls games, yes, they came and they showed me another way. But it just seems like it just seems like now Fallout 4, Skyrim, Mass Effect 3, they were all just they went too far with the streamlining, and they totally lost focus on the role playing game. And these games are complete shit across the board with all fans.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they put out a title, and Bethesda put out a title, and they want you to be the game developer.
Yeah, the games.
You make our game better. We're gonna give you a tool set. We're gonna put you in a guide box, and you can do what the fuck. Fix our mistakes.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that shit.
I don't understand why people are hyped up for this new Mass Effect when everybody was mad at Mass Effect 3 because it was a complete piece of shit. I don't know.
Mass Effect 3.
Oh, you don't remember? You must be. When did you start doing the YouTube thing?
Recently, but I mean.
People were mad at the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, the ending. I thought you were talking about the whole game as a whole.
It was. I like part 1 because it was more role playing, but then they lost focus with 2 and turned it more action based.
Well, they had to fix that clunky ass the gameplay was really clunky, dude, in the first one. I mean, I do agree it was more
kind of dated too. The second one was huge. The third one because the art style and it was more shooter, more gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It felt like Gears.
Yeah,
Gears to me is not. I prefer. I know it sounds strange. I prefer my Resident Evils with the 10 controls. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Hey, we gotta talk about that real quick. Did you
I hated that shit, dude.
I understand.
Did you play the demo of Resident Evil 7 yet?
Yeah, I think I was hating on it, and I'm not gonna call it Resident Evil 7. I'm gonna call it Resident Evil Biohazard or something. But I like it. But I like those controls, the clunky controls, because it feels more like a game, like in Resident Evil when a zombie was coming and I had to panic, and then those 10 controls came into effect. It was no better feeling in the world than being genuinely scared. Now that you remove that, nobody's scared anymore. People are just running through levels, busting heads open, running into the next level, running to the next checkpoint. There's no game, there's no challenge, and that's. I prefer that clunkiness because it feels like I'm getting.
But that shit was you running sideways with that long ass shot with them dogs jumping up and biting you, trying to get through the door and shit before you help. I hated that shit. It still kind of scary with the shock value. You know what it was? I'm gonna be honest with you. It was so scary because if you go back and play them now, which aren't scary at all. It was scary to us back then because it was new and we never played anything like that. I remember what's the other shit that Tecmo made? Fatal Frame. Like, oh my god. But if you go back and play them now, because that was a whole new genre that Capcom did, so that's why it was scarier for. But a Resident Evil 6 was dog shit. That was some Jean-Claude Van Damme shit.
That's what I'm saying. These guys, they go too far left.
Yeah, that 6 was bad. 5, I have a problem with 5. With the Africa, the co-op. I thought the co-op was cool, but 6, my god, and that Raccoon City. I don't know what the fuck Capcom.
That's what I'm trying to say. They went too far left.
That was some shit. Yeah.
This is my problem with Final Fantasy 15. They went too far. Let's get back to the core mechanics. And I guaranteed you, for years, we're still talking about 7, 8, 9, and 10 to this day. We don't talk about 13 no more, and we're not going to talk about 15. Maybe the Dubros because it expanded their pineal glands. But 15 after 2 weeks from now,
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my main gripe with 15. That's my main gripe with 15. Resident Evil, Street Fighter. Oh man, Street Fighter was another motherfucker that I used to love until they streamlined those. I remember back in the day, you literally had to go down up punch to do an Hadouken. I literally dropped the controller and did it Hadouken. I'm like, yo, it's so goddamn.
You know why they made him like that though? It was because Yeah, because again, the hardcore. We don't bring these companies any money to make it appeal to a bigger audience, a demographic. That's what, again, I was just talking about the other day on.
The reason Capcom and Square Enix are able to have these legendary franchises because we were the ones that made it big. We were the ones that spread the word. We were the ones that buy their games. And for them to totally turn their backs on we and focus on them, I think it's fucked up. I won't buy it.
But you know why? Don't check it out though. We are school. Hold on, let me say something. We're school, right?
Yeah.
We're school. We've been playing this shit for years. But you got a bigger demographic out there that this may be new, and there be quote unquote turned off by it because they would get the floor, they would get mopped up by us. You know what I mean? So they won't even invest in it. So again, I guess to ensure the lifetime of the franchise, they have to keep growing. And this is all fair. I'm not saying it's all for good.
But what I'm saying, it's not working. Capcom losing billions of dollars.
They fucked up with that one. They put the game out.
But check it out. Capcom is about to release. They said they're going to go back and revisit their old franchises, which is
okay. That's cool. And whatever they're going to release, whatever.
You're talking Darkstalkers 2. I mean, Darkstalkers. You're talking, what's that? Ghouls and Goblins. What's that shit called?
Yeah. Might be releasing those, but it's not going to be games we played back then. This is going to be the new Marvel vs. Capcom, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 version of Darkstalkers, But what we loved, It's catered to these Pootie Pie watchers.
Make a comeback.
But the thing is, I've been complaining about them to bring these games back. Not even me. All of us have been asking for these games and asking for them to do it right. Now they want to do it right in 2016, but we've been saying this back in 2009 and 8.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
in my point, I have hope in the Switch. I hope in Breath of the Wild. I love it because it's not even that, it's difficult. They showed the guy playing the game, right? He was getting his ass whooped. So, and the dude was like, let me take over and let me do it. And he had a better way of maneuvering through the battle, maneuvering through the enemies. And it's showing that it's just not going to be a game where you can just pick up and just tap the square button to win. It's going to be a game. It's going to be an actual game with an actual challenge. We haven't had a game like that since Dark Souls. I give Dark Souls props.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what's as far as the Legend, what you call it? The Wind Waker Zelda thing.
Well, I'm talking about Breath of the Wild is a game that I'm very excited for because it is like an actual general game. I haven't played Zelda in years though, so I
haven't either. I haven't either. I haven't played it in years. So I mean, and again, more. I just missed the days, to be honest with you, and probably my biggest disdain with the Nintendo, and this goes for anybody. Maybe you may disagree, but that if you don't stop, when you stop competing, and and you become stagnant, and you look at Nintendo's install base since the NES has been smaller and smaller and smaller. Maybe them just trying to be different and do their own thing is not working out. You have to conform to what's relevant now, whether I like it or not, or whether whoever like, and that's all. I'm not saying Nintendo, you got to stop what you're doing. You have to do more. If the Zelda, fine. If you're gonna stay making those type of games, cool. But you also have to offer the things that your competitors are doing. You just can't come out and say you're gonna let Microsoft and Sony fight it out in the big C for the battle of the teraflops. Whether you or I agree about it or whatever the case may be, but this whole generation has been about power.
I would, I'm not disagreeing. I think you're right on a business aspect, But
look at it like this. All right, boom. You got your PS4, Rozobi, right? Like I said, I told you I come to your live streams a lot of times to sit there and bug the fuck out and with my headphones on. You wouldn't like to do the same thing with your Switch? Dock it up to the TV, live stream, talk. This game is awesome.
I would be a liar to say that I wouldn't want to be in a live stream playing the new Pokemon stars, battling with my friends,
talking shit to your friends.
I would be lying if I said no. So yeah, you're right.
Okay, and again, and you've been doing this YouTube shit way longer than I have. How many I don't like to call people fans, but how many of your subscribers came to you? Oh, so you was right about that game. Thank you. I got this game. You get, I get it all the time, so I know that you get it, right? So just by you experiencing and playing the game and showing it to the world, your audience, that's more potential customers, word of mouth, right? So like I said, and one of Nintendo's, they don't allow that. If they do, you got to go through them, fill out a form, and you got a certain. It's just a bunch of bullshit. They're the only one that's doing it.
Top stream game right now is Pokemon Sun. They allow this Twitch people to do it. Not on YouTube.
They probably have their own permission, but Nintendo has a list of games. If you look, we're content creators, right? And you got some people that make big money on this shit, right? But anyway, so if you want to show Nintendo shit on your channel, you got to fill out a partnership with them. So they're going to take a piece of the AdSense, and if you don't fill up a partnership with them, you can't put, you can't advertise the game. They either take it down or take the money from it.
That isn't about. I mean, that's a bad way to think business wise.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But again, just to take, you may not care, but you got people. This is their job. And I'm never knocking someone's hustles. Well, you shouldn't be doing. Listen, whatever. I mean, I don't give a fuck a motherfucker selling roses on this. Chanel, thank you. I don't give a fuck motherfucker selling roses on the side of the goddamn highway. I don't give a fuck if it's Hardy. I'm just selling this motherfucking used PS4 in front of Kmart with his motherfucking foot hanging out the window. Whatever a man got to do to make $1, I get it. And I'm not knocking him. You know what I mean? So you got the people like, well, it's Nintendo. No, I bought this goddamn game. I didn't steal it. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna open that can of worms, but that right, it's called free advertising. You know what I mean? And again, like and I guess since I've been doing YouTube, I met a few people within the industry. Before you had the micro patches, they're not as big as they once were. That's why you say little shocking things to get headlines, because these firms would pay them millions of dollars to do out there and do this. They take these surveys and all the shit that they do with data and analytics and all that shit. But now these companies can go straight to YouTube and see everyday people. You understand what I'm saying? And what they think about their product. And that's what Nintendo doesn't get. You know what I mean?
Like I said earlier, it's cool for us, but it's bad for business. Like people aren't like my man said, he was watching the gameplay, but he said in order to save himself money, he will watch the gameplay and go out and buy it.
That dude right there, most of nonsense time he talks with his wristband. That's some bullshit. That's not a game. I ain't I'm gonna go to my man's house and watch him beat Mike Tyson Punch Out. You still want to go home and play Mike Tyson Punch Out yourself. It's a game.
Yeah, but those were good games. Now we got Battlefield 28, Call of Duty 32, Assassin's Creed 67.
That's when the multiplayer part kicks in. Okay, once you're done with the game, hop online and you can play against your friends. You know what I mean? And I don't really care for those games, but I guess it gives the games legs or whatever the case, adds to the longevity of the game. Because once you beat the game, you want to then not go back and play it again. I'm done. But now I get to play against my friends and pop shit.
I think is the problem is that ever since I don't know, it's just been a period where it's just been about, and it's always been a business, but it just seemed like it was more art craft. Punch Out, like you said, Metroid, Sonic the Hedgehog. It just seemed like it was more art than actually saying we need to do everything we need to do to make a buck. Mm-hmm. What I like with the Switch, it seems like it's more platform, and me playing Battlefields just because everybody else is playing Battlefield.
I don't get it. It's something. I want to say it's something new, or I won't even say something new. I mean, it's not something that's never been done before.
That needs to fly or die, and that mentality. I'm a rebel, so I don't live by that mentality. So it's like I'm rocking with Nintendo because they're like, you know what? We're going to keep this gaming on an artistry more than just turning it into a business, because at the end of the day, businesses die. Art can live forever. The pyramids are still here till this day. You know what I mean? The artistry route, the rebel route that Nintendo's taking, it's dying right now. It's 50% drop off from Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3, which didn't even sell.
Well, I get you. I'm with it, but again, we're the last of the Mohicans, or you, or whatever. But You know, the last of the Mohegan, I did. You want to root for you know, the how you say the you know, for the low man. I get it. You know what I mean? But we got to again.
It's artistry. You know, back then we liked these games on the. We didn't even care about sales back then. We weren't in other people's pockets like we are today. You know.
Oh no, that's the fanboy shit. That's the console war stuff. Sales and
like, yo, did you play this game? Oh shit! You know what I'm saying? Like, it was more an artistry type. The more I could buy that because it's selling them. That's the mentality. You know, I'm gonna buy that because PewDiePie or IGN told me. Back then we were buying games because the cover. Oh, let's get this.
But what happens, Obi? The internet gave way of depth to the magazine.
Well, you know, that's the magazines.
I said your mic went out. Say it again. You were talking clear and your shit went out.
I was the magazine's dead too. I was reading Game Informer. Call of Duty a 9.5. I said a 9.5. That's insane. Yeah. Insane. But yeah, you know, internet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the rise of the internet has changed gaming into more of a scary business. Very scary.
You know what?
Cuphead. You guys have in the Xbox. Artistic game. I'm pretty sure the controls are going to be just platform goodness, and this is going to get swept under the rug because James not going to talk about it. You know, PewDiePie won't play it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's when it comes up to, like I said before, to Microsoft. They have to do a better job at advertising their exclusives to the casual. They can't just wait until a month before the game comes out, or you know, give us some press here. They should be, you know, you should be seeing videos and clips and stuff about it right now to get us, the gamer, you know, everyone talking about it. And that to me has been Microsoft weak. Their weak spot this generation is that, you know, when people hate Matrick and whatever the case, or Balmer. Back then, you know, Microsoft and Bill, and that's why I said I missed those. I'm not gonna tell those story, but I had a conversation with Phil about this. You know what I mean? I said, you know, I've been with you guys since 01, been a beta tester since 02, and you know, I don't want to see my platform of choice, you know, become a platform or a service. You know what I mean? He said, no, because you know, because again, Microsoft messaging has been all over the world this generation. First, it's all about us. Then it's Windows 10, and you know, it's been all fucked up. And you know, and so that's to me, like I said, their messaging has been all over the world, up and down, and they've done a shit job. Like I said, when Bill and Balmer and Donnie Woody, they threw money behind the fucking product. You know what I mean? Commercials. Now you got my man, ding, in charge, and they're fucking squeezing the eagle to the quarter screen. There's no way in hell Sony should be out spinning you in the gaming division. You know what I mean? We're talking about Microsoft Entertainment Division is worth $30 billion fucking dollars. And I know they're great at fucking business. I'm not negating that. That's what they do. But again, you know, it's not the same as before. You know what I mean? You know, people give Donnie D a lot of grief and shit, and you know, he wasn't a gamer and all that shit there. But you know, only thing I can say maybe that was under Phil's command, but maybe it was the Slim. A lot of those games were in place already, because if you listen to Microsoft E3 2013, they say they spent $1 billion on franchises, on exclusives. You know what I mean? You know, and Phil had Aaron's job. That's why I was so pissed off about Fable. Phil wasn't the janitor, you know what I mean? And Phil had Aaron's job. So that Fable that we didn't ask for, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't like that turn-based, the bag. I thought that shit was dumb. But, you know, he took the idea to Donnie D to get the money for the game. You know what I mean? And like I said, where those games are set up, it's like you're playing a race in the arcade. You got to get to a certain point to receive more funding. And you just fucking can the fucking studio. Like, that's one of your, like, that's like Sony letting go of Naughty Dog with Sony Santa Monica. That's, to me, that's crazy. And, you know, and again, I'm not a big fan of Rare. I don't really care for their art style. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'm not really with that grab by the ghoulies art shit. Like, you know, and you just look at who has a better track record of games. You know, look at Lionhead compared to I'm talking about for the X. I'm not talking about what they did for Nintendo. I'm just talking about on Xbox platforms. The only thing that Rare has done was connect fucking sports. I know it sold like 50 fucking million copies. I get it, but look at games outside of that. You know what I mean? You gonna tell me VN Piranha is better than fucking Fable? Like, come on, man. Like that's to me. That's when all the fanboys should stop. I don't care about Rare was. I mean, Fable Lionhead was losing money. I don't give a fuck about Microsoft's fucking 410K. I don't give a fuck. We just lost a major fucking IP here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Like, and no one, like, you know, there was some people that got it. You know, like, like, come on. And that this is my issue. If you look at the OG Xbox from where it was, and it had all these different, you know, just I ain't talking about niche games. They had a lot of fucking games, bro. You know,
Tokyo Extreme Racer, but it was
Midtown Madness. They had Midtown Madness. They had all types of shit. You know, Mech Assault. They had their own fighter, Taeyo Fang. They had another. They had a whole bunch of shit. Kung Fu Chaos. You know, they had so much shit. Reckless. You know, I can go on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? And Otagi. And to look where they are now, you know, and I know we have 7 new IPs coming out next year.
Also, the gamers got to take the blame too. Xbox fanboys. I had videos of me talking about, you know, variety, and the Xbox fanboys told me, no, we don't want that because they don't sell. Can the Xbox fanboys take some a little responsibility by telling Microsoft, don't give us variety?
No, I know. Whoever said that is a fucking dickhead. Like who what more options on your platform? There's more games for us to play.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, this is they told me that's
that.
He was show. The kid told me he didn't want any of the, you know.
Yo, I forgot. Shout out to my man. Your mic breaking up.
I was just saying, how can a gamer not win games? Go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to my man. He's in the comment section. He said, "Dead to Right." I forgot about that. That was an OG Xbox exclusive. Like, you know, but still Battalion. I had that $250 controller. Like, Mike, the Xbox had some shit. But I want this guy right here. I know I'm a little ahead of you in the live stream. IBO. He said, "Are you retarded next gen? Rare is fucking huge. I want you, please. I'm not talking about what they did for Nintendo. I don't want to hear nothing about RC Pro-Am. So they're not even making Killer Instinct. What has Rare done for the last 2 generations?" I want you when you answer, and I want you respectfully. We can all agree to disagree without calling names. I'm not gonna say I had all type of nasty butt sex with your grandmother. So you can, you know, we can agree to disagree. You said Rare is fucking huge.
Living in a generation where the name is bigger than the game. He just goes by Rare is a game. Is a name that's known because of its what is.
The kid in my head said, you said, say it one more time because couldn't nobody hear you.
Sorry. Now I was saying that he's just going because the name is bigger than the game. People are more focused on Kojima than his terrible games about. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm trying to say is that he doesn't know any games that Rare.
Oh yeah, because I obviously said that. You know what I mean? And I'm just being real. And listen, we're talking to a guy. Listen, I don't understand. And like I said, we talking about. And you know, somebody that has been here since day one, who untethered. I know my Xbox knowledge is just as good as anybody, or probably. Like I said, I've been here since day one, since 01, online since 02. Okay, but again, I'm talking about since Microsoft bought them. Let's listen to this. Okay, Microsoft bought those. I think they bought Rare in maybe 2003, or 2003, 2004 for $350 million. You know, they passed up on BioWare. You know, like you're saying that Rare is huge. Who would you rather Microsoft have bought, Rare or fucking BioWare? You know what I mean? Microsoft have made some questionable decisions. You know, even when in 2014 when Capcom was going through all their financial woes and they were selling off IPs, like Microsoft should have swooped in then, and you know.
About Sega when Sega was willing to get
yeah. They should again. Imagine if they'd have bought Sega. Listen to this. Listen. Let's look at mainstream. Right? Imagine if they'd have bought Sega. Guess what? They would have had visual concept. No make visual concept. It's fucking 2K basketball.
Yeah.
Just think how huge that fucking game is now. You know what I mean? If Microsoft would have acquired Sega, they would have had Visual Concept, or even just acquired Visual Concept before 2K snatched them up. Fucking Mortal Kombat. I talk about this game all the time. One of my favorite fighting games, right? They got fucking bought by Warner Brothers for $45 million. Think about that.
Mortal Kombat. For a while. It just now got good, but I remember when Mortal Kombat fell off.
Oh, I mean, it went through its woes, but that bitch is back like cooked crack. With the money behind them at Warner Brothers, look what they did with that fucking game. You know how they brought back the old licensing fees for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and fighting Jason and all that shit. The shit we thought about when we was kids. Like I thought that was hot. You know what I mean? How they handled that with the DLC, like that's dope. Then they got the Injustice 2 coming out in around spring. You know what I mean? But they just $45 million was a fucking. You bought fucking Nokia. Just think about that. Now, they give them shit about Minecraft, and Microsoft, the entertainment division, didn't buy Minecraft. It was Microsoft itself. It had nothing to do with the Xbox division, but we're talking about a game that sells 50,000 copies a day. It's probably the most successful multiplayer of all time. You know what I mean? I'm not, I'm not stroking anyone's ego. Like I don't care about Microsoft money that they make, but Microsoft, if this being whether you like the Xbox platform or not, and again. I heard this from somebody from one of the top 3 publishers in the world that I'm friends with, right? He said, if you really want to, he said, forget the console war. If you want to know who runs gaming is Microsoft. He said, shit, the tools that we use to make the goddamn game, Microsoft runs that. You know what I mean? Like every goddamn thing. Microsoft got their hands in every fucking thing. You know what I mean? And again, they are good at what they do. I'm not negating that, but as a purist, as me being a gamer,
AZ, I got to rip, man. I got to.
No problem. As me being a gamer, they have made some questionable decisions to me, and abroad. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if they would acquire some of these people when you come out Rare for $350 fucking million for and those nostalgia IPs that people like that Rare made? They don't own those fucking games. Those are not their IPs. You know what I mean?
Well, what happened to Battle? At least Sony came out and gave us Crash Bandicoot. What happened to Battletoads?
I don't know. That's been rumored forever, right? I would love to see like another Battletoads. Like I said, it was one thing I give Sony, or one thing that Microsoft needs, and they need to really invest in. And whether it's Cronenberg, the Microsoft needs that one-player story-driven game. You know what I mean? That would whatever if they want to tack a multiplayer onto it, fine, whatever. But that's one thing that they're lacking. Their own hack and slash, whether you like God of War or not. Maybe Rise could have been in. I don't know if they can work something out with Crytek. I don't know. But that's one of the things.
Own sports game like they did back in the day, man. They need their own basketball game or their own football.
I don't think they can ever. What football they can't do because EA got the license.
Basketball game and let this shit be better than this. This one basketball game that we're getting with 2K.
Well, Live tried to compete, as the talent. What's crazy as hell? 2K didn't snatch the ball of talent out there. Just make it. I get it. I'm not negating it. I'm getting it. Microsoft had their own baseball when 3DO went out of business. I don't remember. They bought the high heat. The
Dubro Council go full Dubro. Get them some sports game. Get them a hockey game. Get them and let it be. I remember when Dreamcast came out with virtual tennis.
Yeah, virtual tennis.
What the fuck? Then we played it. And you're like, this is the best video game I ever played in my life.
Yeah.
That's what Microsoft has to. I think they should come out with a basketball game, a hockey game, Mutant League football, something. And
I just want to say, like I said, we got 7 new games coming out from them. Whether they stick or not, they have to invest in these IPs for the long, because if you just become the Gears just in the shooter box, like I said, people can't afford to own multiple consoles. I understand the multi-platform, you're going to get the same multi-platform experience. And they can't just, the problem with Microsoft, this is being realist, for even right into this generation, they would, we have the best version of online, which they do. Xbox Live is better than PSN. But when you have a competitor, it's not as good as Xbox Live, but we can party chat, we can do just about the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? The average Joe's motherfucker is not going to care. So you can't just, we got the best version of Xbox Live, and you can't do that shit anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta step your fucking. That may matter to us, the fucking the hardcores, but you're basically doing the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wish Microsoft would have stuck to their guns at E3, whether it been DRM. That shit they showed us on stage that they were playing. I'm not forgetting she was playing Killer Instinct, right? And she paused the game, set up a match in Battlefield, right? And when her friends joined, she got a notification. She went from fucking Killer Instinct straight to Battlefield, no lag, no load time. Like, I thought, oh shit, you know what I mean? With that, all that shit changed with the DRM and, you know, the policy shit. Like, I thought that shit was epic. Like, oh shit, and you know, I never had a problem with DRM, and it wasn't that you couldn't trade your games. That when you went to GameStop, quote unquote, is that when you traded it, the developers got a portion of them, which I think is fucked up. This is the gaming business, the only business like that. Honestly, not only is EA and Activision competing against each other, they're also competing against the motherfucker that's selling their product. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go buy fucking Assassin's Creed, but GameStop got it for $7 cheaper. So Ubisoft didn't get no money. EA didn't get ain't nobody. You know what I mean? So that money didn't really go back in the industry. It went into GameStop's pocket. Now they need to do something about that. And I'm not hating, but you know, because we have lost a lot of developers. That's why we're getting so few different new genres. You know, and you know, I mean, because these companies can't afford. You know, I guess it's either hit or miss. You know. Look at the motherfuckers that made Myrtle Soul Suspect. That game released on a Tuesday. Their doors was closed by Friday. Like, god damn. You know what I mean? You know, like I said, it is what it is. But anything you want to add before we get the hell out of here? We've been here burning today.
Yeah, great show, man. Great show. Awesome show.
Yeah. I guess my man he didn't get back to me about that red question. You know, but no disrespect.
Like I'm saying, he's just going off the game. He doesn't. These people don't know games unless IGN told them the game. You know, so I wouldn't even really like these people.
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect. But anyway, like I said, everybody for watching the show. Gamer versus Gaming podcast. We appreciate it, man. A great show here today. My man was Big Luther at the Hall last, man. His pot roast is burning. We'll catch you guys again next Saturday at 3:30, man. We out of here. Bang.
Peace.